Hey guys, what is going on and welcome back to another Fortnite Reload Modifier Mayhem, whatever it's called. Today's is Slurp Rush Overflow. So, over the past few days we had the one in Oasis, which was Oasis Steady Storm. We now have one in the Slurp Rush map, which is the Chapter 2 style reload map, and it is Overflow. So, in other words, everything's slurp. All the water is all slurp. But to counter that, the storm does do some extra damage. So, without further ado, we're going to go straight into one of these. It is also worth noting that there will be a third and final reload modifier coming out later this week, which I do believe is called Venture Floor is Lava. And then at the start of next week, for 3 days, those will be the only things you can play in Reload. It'll just cycle through them every 20 minutes. So, without further ado, let's jump into Slurp Rush Overflow. So folks, here we are for the Slurp Rush Overflow. So, all the water is slurpy, which is why everything looks slightly blue. Insert the gif of Boris Johnson saying blue into the video there, but honestly, everything is very, very, very blue. It's obvious that like it's not regular water, but the way that they've done it is actually quite visually fun to look at, I've got to admit. I think this is just a nice way to end off Reload for the end of Chapter 6. How certain game modes are going to look going forward into Chapter 7 following the 0 hour event, we still have yet to see. Is there a chance that some game modes get shut down? Yes. I'm not going to hide this from you. There is every chance that a certain game mode might get shut down. So Reload might not exist. Ballistic might not exist. They could remove anything. That's not to say they're going to. Reload seemingly is quite popular, as is OG, for example. OG has already been extended into 2026, so we know for a fact that OG should be coming with us. Reload, I feel like they'll keep Reload, but they might get rid of all the maps. You never know. They might completely scrap the maps that we currently have, and we get a couple of new ones, and then that's that. I mean, we are supposed to be getting a Blitz Royale Stranger Things map soon, so could they just be dumping everything into Blitz instead of Reload? You never know. And that's just it. Don't count on a game mode staying just because you enjoy it. But at the same time, don't assume that a game mode is going to be removed. Think about it this way. Rocket Racing is still there, and I don't think I've seen Rocket Racing have over 2,500 people for the past at least 6 months. Meanwhile, Imposters, back in Chapter 2, had ridiculous amounts of people playing it, and has been gone for God knows how long, and is probably never returning. And that's just it. I think Epic with their game modes now, because they've tried to make new permanent game modes and move away from the LTM vibe, it does mean that innovation is a little bit thinner. It's probably more few and far between. I mean, are we ever going to see LTMs like Imposters again? Could they give us like a 2-week event where we get a game mode like Imposters? No, because UEFN's done it. Why would they do it when you can play it any time? And that's why I think Epic have pushed the metaverse so much, is that we here in UEFN can make anything for them, and now they don't need to do it. So, am I expecting a new permanent game mode during Chapter 7? Yes. Am I expecting the new open world game mode to come through Chapter 7? Yes. The open world game mode has been teased for a long while in files, and I think Chapter 7 is the ideal time for them to bring that out. So obviously we have yet to see. Will they reveal all of this during 0 hour? Probably not. It feels like 0 Hour is very much going to be more of a narrative driven event. We have confirmation it's a narrative driven event, but they could do an advertisement in it, but it just feels like this is not the one that they're going to do an advertisement for. It feels like the Chapter 6 finale, 0 Hour, is here purely to bring us to Chapter 7 and tell us the story. Whereas some of the others have been more about, oh, this is what's capable, this is what we can achieve. Particularly Fracture at the end of Chapter 3, which teased this is what's capable in UEFN. And then the legendary event at the end of Chapter 4, the Big Bang. People got excited knowing that it was back on OG, but at the same time it was literally just an advert for 3 new game modes. Chapter 5 started pushing away from that a little bit, but there is a key problem with Chapter 5, and that is that the Chapter 5 remix finale was just a concert. It wasn't story. So this is the first properly, purely story-driven event, potentially in 4 years. Well, 3 years. Because it will be since Collision, so 3.5 years. Like, we can expect some big stuff in the coming weeks as we progress from Simpsons into 0 Hour and then into Pacific Breach, Ref. I can't remember what it's even called now. Pacific something, but like, honestly, it's suddenly become exciting to be a Fortnite player again. And that's what I think I've missed. I don't know about what you guys' thoughts are on that, but honestly, it's no longer the uncool thing to say that you still play Fortnite. Yeah, all of a sudden there's actually people out there that are saying that no one does this like Epic Games. And that is true. To this day, I think, whether you love or hate Fortnite at this point in time, one thing you can never take away from them is they are the only ones to have ever done something like this on this level. The events that we have been gifted over the years, starting with that Chapter 4 rocket launch, progressing all the way to Chapter 1 the end. Chapter 1 the end. If you'd have told anyone 2 years beforehand that this game that you've never heard of is going to become a global cultural phenomenon and then pull off an event like that, no one would have believed you. And that is the magic of Fortnite, is regardless of the situation they end up in, regardless of where things are in terms of story and events and even player counts dwindling, there will always be something around the corner that they're working on, and for that we have to give credit to this beautiful free game. So this has turned into a big discussion about Chapter 7, but honestly I think that's what a lot of my videos are going to be over the coming week or so. Like, Chapter 7 is getting ever closer, and frankly I think it's going to be a pretty cool one. So let's see if we can make some progress in this game. I've gotten 5 kills, which honestly isn't too bad, I don't think. But my problem right now is that I am on my last life, which is not great. I also have no idea where my loot is from earlier, when I got killed. So I think it's somewhere around here, in all honesty, but I think people have taken some of my loot, which is honestly quite a shame. But oh well, it is what it is. Right. I've just realised, even though I did a video earlier today, like this is the second video I've recorded today, this is technically, because of time, the first video I've ever recorded where I'm 23 years old. God damn. I'm old. And that's how we end the video. Well, I guess, on that lovely note, guys, that was a little look at Slurp Rush Overflow. It doesn't seem as chaotic or inventive as the other two are going to be. Obviously, Floor is Lava is quite a big, detailed game mode. You've got the Steady Storm, which also is quite an inventive game mode, the storm constantly moving, whereas that one is literally just all the water is slurp. It's not quite as creative as the other two. But do tune back in a few days' time for Venture Floor is Lava. Also tune back in as we get closer to 0 hour. But with all that in mind, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it informative, enjoyable and fun to watch as always. And I'll see you all in the next one.